Hey guys, it's your friend John here, and today I'm doing another knife review video. I'm going to be reviewing the Flip Couteau Baladeo. Let me try that one more time. Couteau Baladeo. I think that's close enough. I probably mispronounced that name wrong, but you wanna know what? This is a knife review video, not how to pronounce words video. So let's take a look at this knife. Now when you look at this knife, the first thing you'll notice is the unique way it opens. It's not really, it doesn't open like your common knife. It opens in a very rare and unique fashion. I never really see a knife open like this. Most of them are usually switch blades or spring-loaded blades or pocket knife that just flip open. This one's a little more unique. It starts out thin, like a thin little rectangle, and then you flip it open like that, and then you take it out like that. And there we go, a nice unique looking knife. And what I like about this knife is this unique characteristic because, well, it's a very thin and very narrow knife, which does have some benefits and also some downsides, which I'll talk about later. But you just don't see a lot of knives with this type of uniqueness to it. It's very nice. I like how it has chrome plating right here. And I believe this is a stainless steel blade. I'm not 100% sure. But overall, it just has a really nice look to it. It's got a good style to it. It's got good weight to it. The only thing I can really think of is maybe it might not be that strong or durable because, well, if you think about it, it's being held by basically this little pin here and this little pin here that allows it to swivel back and forth. So it's kind of hard to say how reliable this knife would be, but it's still a nice little sized knife. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to now rate this knife right here, and I'm going to see how this knife holds up against my rating system. Let's take a look. Now, to rate this knife, I'm going to be using this rating system that I created. Also, last time I rated a knife, in my last knife review video, I accidentally misspelled rating. Instead of putting a G on the end, I put an F. This time, I corrected it, so you're not going to see any misspellings in this video. And I'm pretty shocked that no one called me out for that, so you can't make fun of me for my last rating video for misspelling a word. Now, I'm going to start reviewing this knife. Now, let's start with the overall looks of this knife. And I got a 19 out of 30. And the reason why is because it has a nice and clean look to it. Nothing's out of place. It's well organized. Everything lines up and matches up. The only thing that really hurts it is intimidation because of its small size. Now I'm going to look at practicality, and I got a 9 out of 40. And that's because its build quality and its time reliability are quite low because it's a small flimsy knife and it's really hard to say how long it will last over time. Not to mention kill reliability is really low because of its small blade size, and hand comfort, well, you got a very small thin handle with no guard on it and your hand can very easily slide forward and hit the blade. So that's going to hurt the score as well. Now I'm going to go to usability, and for usability it got a 22 out of 50. Its handling ability is very mixed. Yeah, it is very lightweight and you can very easily swing it around, but it doesn't really have any form of grip on it and it can very easily fly out of your hand. And, well, if your knife flies out of your hand, it's not very effective now, is it? Not to mention, if that happens, then you wouldn't have your knife to use anymore. That's also why it gets a low score for defense and attack. Small knife, small flimsy handle, it's just not very good at being used as a knife. The only thing that really helps it is storage ability and carryability. You can very easily store it away, and carrying it, you can very easily carry it, but like I said, it does hurt the score a little bit on carryability because the handle is just not very fitted to the hand. Finally, weapon versus weapon, and it got a 6 out of 30. And that's because for effectiveness, yes, it can still be used as a knife, just not very efficient as a knife. The blade is still very sharp, and it can still cut, but like I said earlier, no guard, your hand can very easily hit that blade, and that's not good. And at that point, the knife did more damage to you than what you were originally going to use it on. And inside class, it doesn't stand a chance against other pocket knives, just other pocket knife. We're not even looking at other types of larger knives as well. And for outside class, this thing doesn't even stand a chance. It's probably safe to say that a pineapple might be a better weapon than this. So now I'm going to add it all up, and the overall score is a 56 out of 150, or 37.33%, which makes it underpassable but well above poor. So now that I've reviewed the entire knife, you're probably wondering what are my overall thoughts of this knife and if it's worth getting or not. Well, it depends. It's a very unique and uncommon knife, and it is definitely worth having if you like weird and unusual knife, or if you want to use it as maybe a letter opener or something that you keep in the office. It's pretty useful for opening up letters, but I definitely would not use this knife for survival, or for a tool, or for self-defense. It's more of a cool thing just to have than to actually use as an effective knife. One of the biggest things that hurts it is its handle. Its handle is just flat and kind of flimsy a little. It's not too flimsy. The blade does feel pretty solid, but it's really hard to say over time, will that knife still have that solid feel after it's being used after again and again and again. And the handle isn't very comfortable because, well, the handle is very thin. It's kind of like I'm grabbing cardboard. It's just not the feel of cardboard, but it's thin like cardboard. That's one thing I really don't like about it. And it doesn't have any form of guard right here, so if you're using this knife, your hand can very easily slip forward. And, well, you don't want your hand slipping forward like that because you'll cut your hand very easily. So it doesn't have any form of guard or protection from stopping your hand from slipping forward when it's being used. But a good benefit of this knife, because it's so small and because it can very easily be folded away, you can very easily put it in your pocket or even in your wallet. It's just so flat and narrow. It should have no problem fitting in most wallets, if you have a large enough wallet, of course. So putting it away is pretty easy to do, but just as a knife overall, I'm a little mixed about it. But it's just a cool display knife, in my opinion. Or maybe like a novelty knife. Now, if you look at the overall score of this knife compared to my last knife, you'll see that this knife came in last place. The Jing Jung knife is still in first place. Then you have the AK-47 rifle knife, that's in second. And then in last, you have the flip knife. And it's pretty easy to understand why that knife came in last place and the other two came in first place. They just have a better and more secure handle, where this knife feels like it barely has a handle. And if you're wondering where you can get this knife, I got mine online from eBay. They also have other knives that are very similar to this one, but I like the one I have the most. So I'm going to wrap things up by saying thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this video was very informative, letting you know what I think of this knife and whether this knife is worth getting or not. I mean, after all, I did buy this knife. I do like it as a display knife, not as an actual tool or an actual knife you would realistically use, just display and display only. If you're a new viewer, please make sure you subscribe. Please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please comment down below. Let me know what you think of this knife and how you would rate this knife if you were rating it. And please make sure you share this video. And also, please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and also follow me on Reddit. Join my community on Reddit, but please don't follow me in real life. That would just be a little creepy.